Most of you will recognize the Tuohys, but for those who do not, these are the influential figures of Michael Oher's life. Born into a family whose priorities no longer included children, left Michael and his siblings scavenging for food and clothing. Their mother's drug addiction progressed when the father was murdered, affecting her rights to custody. Satisfying hunger and providing shelter are mistakenly seen as sole contributors to human development, whereas the longing for consistent affection awaits to be fulfilled. From reviewing data, articles, and personal accounts, I am motivated to share my findings with you. The foster care system has good intentions, but the individual needs of children are not met. We will begin by discussing the psychological consequences of harsh treatment. Then we will assess the level of education they receive, allowing us to glimpse into their future. Lastly, I will express the need for change by providing viable solutions. Now let's get started. Maltreatment of any kind can have devastating effects on a child's mental health. The American Public Welfare Association reports that 70% of foster care children enter the system because of abuse, neglect, or parental conditions, as in alcohol drug abuse, incarceration, illness, or death. Mental health is an area of concern as 80% of children entering foster care display symptoms of anxiety, depression, and post-traumatic stress disorder. An unfamiliar environment can potentially worsen those pre-existing conditions if medical treatment is not sought. In an attempt to reunite with his mother, Michael proceeds to the location where her addiction began. The men surrounding him develop a sudden interest in his adopted family. When the women of the household are addressed in a sexual manner, his protective instincts kick in. The mother of 12 is placed in a negative light, enraging Michael. Gunshots ripple through the air and wooden structures are destroyed, creating a scene of horror. We distinguish voices of fear while painful images replay in Michael's mind. With an understanding of their past, we shall turn to performance in the classroom. The importance of an education is not emphasized, creating less rates of academic success. Foster care children are at a disadvantage, as their school and home placements are not guaranteed. The Children and Youth Services Review of February 2018 informs us of the stress associated with transferring midway through the year. Students feel as if they do not have a voice and are unteachable when it comes to their education. Like other institutions, students are suspended and/or expelled, depending on the severity of the infraction. While we should not give exceptions to disruptive behavior, this could be underlying trauma. Children in foster care tend to withdraw from this particular setting, increasing the likelihood of grade retention. Of the young men and women, half leave foster care with a 7th grade reading level. Navigating the hallways as an individual of color, Michael resembles a fish out of water, who we consider a gentle giant stems from destitution, misleading many as if he is not capable. Leanne Tuohy rearranges his mindset into one of growth, assuring him that latent talent lies within. A tutor removes doubt as she directs statements of frustration towards the path of success. Countless sessions improve his GPA beginning with 0, reaching NCAA standards. Moving forward from the educational aspect, we will notice the amount of guidance offered. Young adults who leave foster care find themselves in unfavorable conditions. According to the American Civil Liberties Union, there are 15,000 children each year that age out of the system without a permanent family. Unfortunately, 40% rely on welfare. Unintended pregnancy, substance abuse, and incarceration are widely seen in individuals who resort to unethical methods of survival. The sense of security is stripped immediately, leaving the vulnerable group homeless and unemployed. Unruly behavior does not settle as Michael maneuvers through the system. Transitions erode his self-esteem, with the exception of the Tuohys who commit to bettering the child. Abandoning the thoughts of many, Leanne pursues adoption. While her actions prevent further damage, thousands remain in isolation. Producing a generation of lost young adults, I present to you the potential solutions. In order to witness prosperity, we must improve government funding. The amount dedicated to each child is not merely enough to cover additional healthcare services, such as the therapy needed for victims of sexual abuse. While it is rather exciting to turn 18, the young adults that age out of foster care dread this very moment. They are left with no form of stability and view themselves as failures. Implementing programs to aid those who in fact have no family can decrease the overall crime rate. The tools presented to them will be of use when searching for employment and housing. It can be viewed as a stepping stone to a lucrative future in which one obtains a higher education and earns a respectable title. Of the surveys, few displayed uncertainty, though the remainder demonstrated prior knowledge, revealing genuine thoughts. Majority insisted on frequent checkups to evaluate the residents, the child's well-being, and the caregivers themselves. As my video comes to an end, we gravitate towards the idea that foster care children deserve better. The film featuring Michael Oher attempts to crush the misconceptions surrounding children in similar positions. Through a simple act of kindness, his living situation is transformed into the ideal. Reassurance and dedication set him on the path to success as he attends the University of Mississippi at no expense, fulfilling the lifelong interest in football.